What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Dad Does Videos. I happened to be taking a little stroll through Lowe's the other day and ran into this product. These are floor register nets or floor vent nets. And the goal of this product is to capture all that stuff that somehow makes its way to your floor vents and then disappears into Oblivion, into your ductwork. They sell these in two different sizes and they come with two nets inside each package. This is the 4x10 size. The other size is 4x12. Before you go to the store, if this is a good product, you just want to measure the opening of your floor vent space on your floor to determine what size that you might need. Now, if you're like me, I thought this product when I first saw it was genius. I've lost all kinds of stuff down to my floor vents and into my ductwork, whether that's pens, whether that's coins, whether that's jewelry. My kids are older now, but when they were toddlers, they would lose all kinds of stuff into the vents. Crayons, puffs, Cheerios, pieces of toys. It was an endless supply of things always going into our vents. If you have pets, I'm assuming this thing's probably going to be helpful in stopping pet hair from going into your ductwork as well. So we're going to pop open this package, give you a view of what these look like, show you how to put these on your vents, and then we'll throw some things in there to see how well the nets capture those items. Okay, so we have one of the nets outside of the package, and I was curious to see what the mesh looked like for two reasons. It had to be pretty close knit holes, and that is exactly the case here, and hopefully it comes through on camera, because if these holes were bigger, then you'd have stuff dropping through the netting, and that is not going to happen that often at all given the size of the holes. On the flip side of that, I wanted to make sure that the mesh or the netting wasn't that heavy either, because, and it's not, it's very, very light, and hopefully you can tell as I move my hand through it, because I was worried if it were that heavy, then it would restrict airflow from your vent, from your HVAC system, and that's not going to be a problem either. So let's put this on the back of our vent. So we have two sides of this net. We've got this side, which is kind of the back. You can see the stitching that goes over top of the border. And then we've got the other side where the stitching is much cleaner. This is going to be the side that goes down on your vent. So we just pop it right over the top, get the netting out of the way. And this, what's nice about this, as I'm experiencing it right now, this has plenty of room in it. There's some wiggle room for you to move it around your vent and the slats right here. But what I've also noticed is that it's pretty tight though. So I feel like this isn't going to just fall into our ductwork if things get into the net. Just pop this right back in like that. And we are going to go get some paraphernalia to drop in here to test out the strength of the netting. Okay, we're back, and we have a variety of different things here that we're going to throw into our vent to see if the net catches all of them without any issue. We've got some goldfish, we've got a key, we've got some coins, a paper clip, and a cracker. So I'm going to just toss all this stuff in and see what happens. Okay, so we have all of our stuff in there. Let's see what happens when we pull up. And this is a good sign, because I was curious to see if the netting would start to slip off of the back of our vent, given the weight of all the stuff that's in there. Now, don't get me wrong, there's not a ton of stuff in there, and there shouldn't be a ton of stuff in your nets. But at the same time, I was just curious to see if the netting would start to slip a little bit, and that does not seem to be the case, as you can see. So we'll just peel the netting off. You can see all of our stuff sitting in there. I'm looking in the duct right now, and nothing went past the netting at all. So far, so good. Okay, so let's also test the net on the back of a vent that is on a tile floor and a wood floor. You can't see the net when we put it on the back of our vent on a carpet floor, but I'm curious to see if we'll be able to see any of this when we put it on the back of a vent on a tile or a wood floor, because although this seems like it is going to be a really useful product, we want to make sure it is going to be aesthetically pleasing as well. Okay, so as you can see, we've got hardwood right here. We're going to pop off our vent, put our netting on, and as you can see, what's really nice about this net too is that the border of it is going to stay hidden because the border of the vent goes out, I don't know what this is, maybe a ½ inch more or so than the actual net border. So all the way around here, you're not going to see the net when we put the vent back on. No issues at all. All right, and our last test here on our tile floor. Let's pop this up. And again, no issues. You cannot see the netting or the border around the vent. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. I certainly recommend the Register or the Vent nets. It's certainly a product I never thought about ever owning. Didn't even think they would make something like that. But when I saw it, I had to jump on it. We tested them. They look good.